Let's talk buying houses today. Buying a house is not only based on credit score or income, it is also based on how much money you have saved to put as down payment. Professor Rousseau, Apothe Podcast, class in session. Today, I will be establishing the differences between PMI and 20%. Better yet, I will be telling the relationships between PMI and 20% down payment that banks or lenders require you to put down for you to be able to buy your house. PMI is private insurance mortgage. As the name say, you buy insurance for the mortgage, not for the house, for the mortgage, for the loan that the bank will be giving you. 20% down is the minimum they tell you. But you know what? It's not really a true fact. People use it, it becomes like the real truth, but it's not true. I'm not going to lure you to bother you with definition. Let's use an example, you will understand better. Let's use Alex as our main subject. Alex has been working forever and now he wants to buy a house. The house that he sees, that he loves, costs about 250,000. He said, you know what, I'm gonna buy. And after everything he said, so he will check his account to say, do I have enough money to put 20% down? He will go to his bank and say, yeah, I got it. But should I put that much money? Because 20% of 250 is about 50K and the bank will loan him $200,000. So let's say that he decides to put 20% down. So his total loan or the bank will lend him $200,000, meaning his monthly payment will be based on $250,000. That's the minimum, 250. Just imagine how many people in America have been working and were able to save $50,000, or if they do save that much, what will be next? That's why some people, they say, you know what, even though I have the money, I am not going to put that much money and I will go with the other route to say, you know what, let's say I will put 10% instead. 10% of 250 is about $25,000. $25,000. That's what he will do. Because Alex is not able to provide the entire 20%, the lender will tell you, guess what? You have to have a PMI, meaning that you don't have to have 20%. If you don't have 20%, the banks or the lenders will tell you to pay a PMI. PMI is private mortgage insurance, and why they want you to pay the 20%? They want you to pay 20% because they don't trust you. They said it's possible that you default or you don't pay. So if you pay 20%, that money when you cannot pay. For example, if your monthly mortgage is $1,500, so if you don't pay February, so they can go back to the 20%. Is a caution that you have, so they will say, okay, even if you don't pay, you have enough money on your account to be able to cover the month that you cannot pay. So when you pay only 10, let's say 10% you will be paying more, and then the PMI will not be will still be on the 200,000. And let's say the PMI is depending on the state or in the bank is about, let's say, 0.8%, meaning that you will be paying on top of your monthly mortgage. They will add another maybe like $135 you will pay. So if your mortgage was 1,500, you're gonna have to add 135 to be able to pay. That's why they have you. So when you put the 20%, right, as a down payment, your interest rate should be lower. If your interest is lower, so your monthly mortgage should be lower. But guess what? The bank will never tell you that. The 20% is only because they trust you, and the PMI is because you pay interest because they trust you. But let's say that whatever you get paid, so the $25,000 because you put 10%. So there is another $25,000. That's what you get paid because you pay only 10%. So the PMI that you pay is to cover the 25K that you didn't put down. You put on 25 is left. So you say you will be paying because you don't the PMI because you fell or you couldn't afford to put the entire 20%. So guess what? As you are paying your PMI, when your PMI what you pay in reach 25K, the PMI should fall off. I've met people who told me, I know I'm paying PMI. I know also that I've been paying for a long time, but I don't remember or I don't think that they stop it or I stop paying the PMI, and they will go to the account after they pay whatever was remain from the 20%. They are still paying the PMI. The bank will never tell that. But don't worry about it. It's not that bad because at the end you can have the money back. Let's say that now again you are paying down your house. You are paying down, and after maybe 5 years, remember you borrow 200,000, the house will be getting some value, and you have your house appraised, and your house is now worth 300,000. Okay, and then so what should have happened is that you will see how much money you still owe. Let's say that you owe now 175K. When the bank knows that your house is worth more than what you owe, let's say 300 minus 175. So 125,000. That's your what we call your equity. That equity should be enough for the bank to lower down your interest rate and your monthly payment. If one goes down, they follow each other. But once again, because we don't know those things, people don't know, the bank will never tell you, or better yet, maybe they don't know, they don't pay attention to that. That's why you will see people always trying to get some HELOC from the house, or they will get a home equity loan. HELOC is home equity line of credit, or they can just have a home equity loan. I will tell you what they are in a nutshell. Or people will also refinance. So when you refinance, that's when they will appraise your house to say, oh yeah, your house is worth more than you owe. So let's knock down your interest rate. If it's down, you will pay less. Once again, you have to know that, and the banks, most of the time, they will not tell you that you can have your house refinanced or have HELOC or to have a home equity loan. So let's talk about it. When you refinance, it's like you having a new loan, not a second loan. You have a new loan. Or when you can do a home equity line of credit. So practically you will have to call an appraiser for them to appraise your house, and whatever, if your house has equity, you can borrow up to 80% of your house. But this one, they don't give you the actual money. Let's say that they give you $100,000 as HELOC. You don't have to withdraw the entire 100,000. You can withdraw 10,000. So when you pay the 10,000, when you withdraw a 10,000, so now your HELOC is 90,000. And when you pay it back, if you are paid back and you pay 2,000, again your a credit line increased by 9,200,000. So the home equity loan allows you to is a revolving credit. You borrow, you take whatever you want for specific purposes, and you pay it back. As you pay it down, you increasing your line of credit. We have also home equity loan. This one, you want to borrow 100,000. Once again, is up to 80% of the value of your home. You take the entire 100,000. So once you take that money, you start paying interest on that loan. So that's what we call HELOC or home equity loan. So let's go back to the PMI and the 20% down. So what is exactly I'm trying to tell you? The relationship between PMI and down payment is that the risk that is involved. When you have your 20%, you end up borrowing less as opposed to somebody who only pay 3 or 5%. If you pay 3 or 5% or below less than 20%, guess what? You end up having a PMI, and the PMI is linked to whatever you didn't pay as down payment. And once you're done paying, you reach to the 20%, your PMI should stop automatically. So when you buy the house, it will be you to decide whether you want to pay 20% or you want to put 10%. But whatever you decide will be you. But it's better to talk to a financial advisor or manager to tell you which way you will go. Once again, it will depend on your income, on how much money you have, and whatever you want to do with your money. Thank you, Professor Rousseau. See you next week.